Talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man, Jerome, with me.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, look, we got some new stuff, but we got a couple questions we're going to answer today. But
Okay.
we got some new stuff to talk about. Jerome,
man.
Telling you early, but we want to talk about voters' rights.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that should be near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Especially African Americans.
Especially.
Yes.
After we answer these questions. Got to give our shout out. Shout out to California. My son out there still living the dream. Shout out to Little Rock, Arkansas. Shout out to West Memphis, Arkansas. Shout out to Shelby County, Memphis. Shout out to Mississippi.
Yeah.
And Mom, always a shout out to the great state of Missouri.
All right.
Hey, look, if you have Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, or you can go to Facebook Live or YouTube Live,
All right.
you can get this show live. I guess that's what it means.
That's what it means. That's what it means, Daryl.
Or the SVP TV network app.
Well,
Jerome just hit me with a duh. I duh. Yeah. If you you can call in.
That's right.
And ask questions like right now.
And you'll be in real time.
Real time.
Yeah.
If not, if you see that number on the thing on Tuesday, it's a repeat.
Right.
You're gonna be calling and ain't nobody gonna be answering.
Right.
So,
but you can tell all your family and friends that you're going to be on the air on Tuesday.
on Tuesday.
So everybody will be there watching.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. So that's a good thing.
It is.
Dad, before we get started, let's just talk a little bit about what happens when you don't choose a competent lawyer to handle your matter.
Ooh.
Remember the brother, I think it was the Proud Boys, he represented himself?
Oh my God. He's a black guy too.
Yeah, I think he wound up getting almost 20 years.
Man, that bug got about there. He got a whole lot of years.
Dude gonna be in prison forever, it seems like, falling behind.
But I thought he was the leader.
He was, I think he was the leader of the Proud Boys or something.
Hold on.
But he chose to represent himself.
I thought the Proud Boys was a bunch of rednecks.
No,
It's not.
There's some brothers in there too.
There ain't many of them because I didn't see many brothers on the campus doorstep doing.
Well, remember, it's never gonna be many brothers anyway. It's gonna be just a couple of people who don't understand.
Out of all those people, though, he got the most time.
Man, they tried to hide him forever because he couldn't afford a lawyer. First of all, he was running with the wrong group. All of them were millionaires or had access to millionaires who then provided legal services for him. But dude said, let me say this there. You absolutely have a right to represent yourself.
Yeah, but the other part about that is, in criminal matters, you will always have representation. You just got to accept it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they will provide you a public defender, or they will provide.
That's true.
Yeah. If you can't afford it, they will provide you a public defender.
Even at that level there?
Even the federal court.
Okay.
Yeah. They got a federal public defender's office.
That's true.
Yeah. So they will provide you a public defender. So if you can't afford it, no. It wasn't that this guy couldn't afford it.
Why would he do
man,
that
your
foolishness there?
ego, you seeing all these other people getting, sentenced, set aside,
What
3 years, 20 days, all kinds of nonsense.
You think if you go there, bruh found out that he is really not one of them. the hard way. That's what they said about, a couple of like OJ. For the first time in the world, OJ realized he was black.
Yeah.
And you don't get the same treatment in our system.
Yeah.
Even though you and I work in the system.
Right.
And we have to believe every now and then justice will prevail.
It does.
You know?
No. Now, see, I don't know. Now, I agree with you.
Okay.
On this second OJ case.
Okay.
Where, it was a matter where they said that he strong arm. OJ can't walk across the street, man. But the guy said that he.
He stole. He
robbed
robbed
him.
him.
Robbery,
Yeah.
OJ ain't had no gun.
Right.
It was all these other people that had the guns and all the other stuff,
Okay.
and they got nothing.
Oh,
They got.
I didn't realize that.
That was when OJ realized that he was black.
He was black.
The first OJ case,
Right.
man. Let me tell you, that case was about you got money.
Right.
The more money you got, because justice is not blind. Justice sees green. It don't see white or black. It sees green.
Right.
So if you got enough money, normally, with the exception of Bill Cosby,
So-
if you got enough money,
So-
you will.
So what are you saying, Mr. O'Neal?
What's that?
That you can buy justice?
I don't know. I'm not
justice-
arguing. Say
is
that
justice for sale?
it's not that it's for sale.
Okay.
What happens is litigation is a tedious process.
Okay.
And if the more people that you got to engage in the litigation process,
I see it.
the more arguments,
I
the
see.
more
I see.
fight. The DA's office in LA County, they had hired outside counsel and all that other stuff. But OJ's team, man, they were hitting them with so many motions all the time.
Yeah.
They were working man, they had the best of everything.
Right.
They had Barry Scheck, who was the best in DNA analysis.
DNA, yes.
They had Shapiro.
That's right.
OJ, Fred, what's his name? I can't think. He died. They had him. They had Dershowitz was sitting in the bleachers waiting for any appeals.
Yeah, Allen.
Yeah, I mean, so they had, and each one of those guys have their own teams.
Yeah. Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran
was
and his
lead.
team.
Yeah, and his team.
Yeah. No, Shapiro. They had Shapiro.
Right.
I can't think of the guy's name. Fred. I can't think of his name.
I
but-
can't think of his name right. It'll come to me.
Yeah, but he was also on that team. So they had a whole, then they had Kardashian. He was on that team.
Right.
I mean, they had all the top criminal lawyers. Not just in California.
Right.
Barry Scheck
Around
does
the nation.
Yeah, Barry Scheck does DNA nationwide.
Well, he's part of the Innocence Project.
He part of
too
the
now.
Innocence, yeah. And so is Dershowitz, Alan Dershowitz.
Right.
I mean, Dershowitz, man. I mean, anything that's constitutional, he gonna be on it.
But he's lost a lot of favor now.
He's taking some
because he's fooling around with the Trump also.
Dershowitz is looking for that
them
next.
down. Yeah.
He looks for that next constitutional argument. That's all that is.
Yeah.
So, and that's my point. My
Right.
point is, if you can afford these people, they are bringing pandemonium to the courtroom.
Right.
Man,
So
dude,
bring it on.
Man, they are bringing. I'm serious, man. Think about it.
Yeah.
If you got 5 different legal teams trying to figure out how, they're all analyzing this material. Barry Scheck is analyzing it from any DNA perspective.
Right.
You got somebody that ain't supposed to be on a crime scene. They know he got some racist tendency. I would have kept that
Mark,
Man, I kept Furman way.
Yeah.
He would have been nowhere near my crime scene.
Right.
And then,
Well, DNA was new then too, and so the jury may not have really understood it. That's the first time we've ever had that deep.
Well, no,
analysis of
DNA
at
had
that
no,
time.
no. DNA had, man, it had been out then.
I know, but I'm saying the people who were on the jury
Oh,
didn't understand it to the max to know that only one person and 1 billion people could have left DNA at a scene.
no, but
Other
that's,
than the person who was.
well, no,
charged.
they had OJ's DNA on the scene.
That's right.
But they didn't have it in large quantities. They had it in drops.
Right.
And that's
enough to convict you.
no,
It's
the
on
drop.
the scene.
Somebody took his blood,
Right.
and
And
you're not gonna have little bitty pink. That's what it was. I mean,
so there you convinced that somebody put it in the scene, introduced.
Yeah, that's
his
what they.
DNA.
No, that's what they believe. That's what they made the jury believe. That's what Furman did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, no, you know, a vial of OJ's blood
Right.
became missing.
Right.
You know, I mean, undisputed became missing, and drops of his blood was on the scene.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
And not from the cut that was on his hand, dripping blood after slicing some people.
well, and then they had these bloody gloves.
Right.
Now his DNA was not on those bloody gloves.
Right.
Did you know that, right?
I don't know if it didn't fit. They had to quit.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Right.
But and that's the other thing that they all knew, right?
Right. That was not the gloves because it didn't fit.
Well, the prosecutor
Right.
laid their hand
God.
on a pair of gloves.
Oh my God.
That
yeah.
had been in police custody
in the evidence.
in the evidence
pool,
room
yeah, right.
all that period of time,
Right.
and we know that they shriveled up.
Yeah.
And then so you hand your case on that.
Right.
The guy can't put his hand in it because it done shrunk up.
Well, also he had his hands spread out wide,
Well,
too, where it wouldn't fit, and so he was just.
You know, well, like Johnny say, you know, who is, you know, black man with a ski cap on, that's O.J. Simpson.
Right.
You know, whether he has a ski cap on or not, big as O.J. Simpson head is, that's O.J. Simpson.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, so Johnny did, you get the best of the best
Right.
on your legal team. And that's what I'm talking about.
Right, I got you.
You know, if Cochran has, you know, 20 people, you know, working on his files, if, you know, and we know that Shrek's got the entire Innocent Project.
Right, right.
So he may have 100 people
Right.
working on this.
Right.
You know, and then you got you got Shapiro with his team.
Right.
You got Kardashian with his team.
Right.
You know, man, I can't.
Fred Hampton, Fred, he was a senator, wasn't it? You're not talking about him, are you?
No. You know,
I can't think of who it is.
Anyway.
But you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
my point was all along is that there are some things that scream and cry out for
Yeah.
is you need assistance.
Right.
So Bruh went in there, gonna represent himself, and wind up getting. But that may be appealable too, there. That
No.
may be appealable.
I mean, you know.
He did such a poor job of representing himself.
Well, who you gonna blame for inefficient counsel?
I don't know. He would get what they call a post-conviction hearing.
He's gonna get all of that.
He'll get a hearing for that. And all he has to do is to humble himself and say, you know what? I really made a mistake. I thought that I was up to representing I'm sure the judge probably, on the record, I'm sure the judge
F.
asked
Lee
him
Bailey.
all of those. Yes, right.
F. Lee Bailey is who I was thinking about.
That's exactly right.
Oh, so I mean, yeah, he had the best of the best,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Newfield, Peter Newfield. I mean, he had all kinds of
Yeah,
people, man.
yeah.
I mean, dude, one of those guys by themselves is
Man, that little thing right there helps
man,
you out a lot.
man, this is my thing right here, boy. That's my thing.
There, you ready, man? I'm telling you.
So let's answer these questions.
Okay,
Jerome.
man.
So we got two questions. One question was, I was offered a settlement offer for a workers' compensation injury. The attorney for the insurance company sent the offer to my attorney. We're getting to a point that I'm not going to be too comfortable with this. And I accepted the amount. Then they sent the settlement contract and a release and a resignation form for me to sign. They want me to sign it before the settlement is approved by the arbitrator. Also, the insurance company attorney nor my attorney didn't sign yet. They said they will sign it when the arbitrator approves it. Does this sound right? Okay, I can't even answer this question.
You can't.
No, I can't answer it because he's got a lawyer. So
Well, change the facts.
well, let me just
Just change
okay,
the
well,
facts. Remember, everything is fact specific. So, not a workers' compensation. It's just a regular everyday automobile accident.
well, let's do what we can
Okay.
without
Let's
you know
just
stepping
change-
on toes.
Let's just change the facts.
Okay. Anybody has a right to change the terms of the settlement agreement. And what I mean by that is this. If you were told X and now you get Y,
Right.
and you're not satisfied with X because X was not what you agreed upon, then don't agree.
Well, I agree with that.
Nobody can make you sign a settlement agreement. Not your lawyer, nobody. Because it's your agreement. And lawyers don't sign settlement agreements. Okay? When defense attorneys bring a settlement agreement to my office and put my name on the bottom of the sign, I don't sign it.
Right.
I'm not a party. You know, now if we do a court document, you got to sign the dismissal.
I got you.
But I don't sign settlement agreements because I'm not a party. And I'm not going to be responsible for anything because what it says in there, some of them are confidential. And that means that if you disclose the information in it, I always have a right to a certain extent to have access to that document, to talk about that document to my staff. Now, we're not supposed to disclose the information in the confidential document.
I got you.
But you're not going to make my staff or make me pay because somebody leaked some confidential information and you can't figure out who it was.
Interesting.
So that's the reason why.
I never thought about it.
I
like
don't
that.
sign. There's lawyers that do.
You won't sign them.
I don't sign them.
Okay.
There's lawyers that do, but I don't. Generally, I don't sign a settlement agreement.
I never thought about it like that.
You know, again, I've represented a lot of people, man.
Right,
You know,
right.
and a lot of you have too.
Right.
But we do different arena. I mean, I'm always doing employee rights.
Right.
And different things of that nature.
And I'm doing accident stuff like that. Maybe every now and then I might do a workers' comp.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But normally, what happens is, I think it's the lawyer's responsibility.
It is.
To tell their client what's contained within the agreement and what the restrictions are.
Yeah.
And like you say, it might be a non-disclosure in there. So make sure that they understand it.
Right.
And I think you're right. There is something in the agreement that says, should you violate the agreement, then you could be responsible for a lot of stuff. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of defense lawyers, they put in this confidential document, right?
Right.
But they don't have what's called a liquidated damage clause.
Right.
Which says that this is what's going to happen if you violate. They just say it's a confidentiality, and they don't have any what's going to happen if you violate.
Right.
That's normally how they work.
Well, that's invalid.
It's not that it's invalid. It has no teeth.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that it's invalid. It just has no teeth.
Right. Because you got to disclose what it is that I'm facing, so I'll know whether it's worth me disclosing or not. Is that right?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Normally, settlement agreements and workers' comps and arbitrators don't go together.
I thought about
it. Yeah, those two don't go together.
Right.
Normally, workers' comp goes before workers' compensation judge. You know, workers' comp has nothing to do with your job. There should never be anything in your job requiring you to resign if it's part of workers' comp.
Okay.
Because that's not how to.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Workers' comp and resignation
to say
it has nothing to do with your job.
Right. It shouldn't.
What workers' comp says is, I was injured on the job.
Right.
I was not drunk or under the influence of drugs, and I got hurt.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether the company is at fault. It doesn't matter whether you're at fault.
That's right.
Workers' comp say, because that's what they get when they buy that statute.
Well, that's how they made a agreement.
Right.
That it keeps you from being faced with a
major lawsuit.
A major lawsuit.
Right.
Right.
So basically, if the employer is wrong, you know, they have poor standards, or you wrong, you got big feet, you know, then workers' comp covers that.
I agree.
As long as you're not drunk or under the influence.
Unless there is a third party involved.
That's a different issue.
If the third party is involved who caused your injury, then you are able to sue.
You can pursue that third party.
That's right.
And then anything that you receive from workers' comp.
That's right.
You know, there's some different set-off arguments and stuff of that nature.
That's right.
But resignation and workers' comp, those two don't go in the same sentence.
Well, they should not.
They should not go in the same sentence.
And so be very careful, because workers' comp is designed to be a compromise. That's what I was kept searching for.
Yeah.
Between the employer and the employee, where they both have to give up something, but you don't have to give up your job. Mm-hmm. One of the things, but I can just maybe they'll move that person to another position, maybe there. Mm-hmm.
That's not a resignation, though.
No resignation involved, because you want to still have a job, And that's called retaliation.
It is.
Because
It is.
you brought a claim.
Yeah, you can't make me resign because I got injured at work.
I agree.
And now, if you with the government entities like the City of Memphis, Shelby County, City of Memphis, Shelby County, and the school district, they don't have workers' comp.
What about the state?
The state has workers' comp.
Okay.
But those three entities have what they call OJI.
Okay.
And basically, they're normally only going to cover you for a year. Now, they will own that injury, but they will only provide you benefits for like being off of work for a period of time.
But that's contrary to what workers' comp was designed to do.
It is, but you can opt out.
I mean, the entity can opt
Yeah.
out,
Well,
but the employee can't opt out.
No. Well, but if the
So you gave up something by working for one of those.
No, not
entities,
really, because
right?
you can sue them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
you
they're
can
not
sue,
protected.
no, they're not protected.
I got you.
You can sue the City of Memphis but you got to establish negligence.
Okay.
You can sue Shelby County Schools. You got to establish negligence. You can sue Shelby County government. You just got to establish negligence.
Okay.
So, but that's what you got to establish. Now, if y'all both got stuck on stupid and you got injured, there's no negligence there. They just cover your claim
For 1 year.
for 1 year.
And you're not going to get a lump sum.
Oh, you can.
You did-
Oh, yeah,
okay, all
you
right.
can. You still can.
Okay,
It
cool.
just depends on whether or not what's your disability rating and all that other stuff.
So, but they're not capped like we're capped now in workers' comp. Because, we used to be able to get like 3 times an injury in workers' comp.
yeah.
But now it's only 2 times. Now you're
No, it's 1.5
Oh, my
times.
God.
Yeah, it's 1.5 times 400 and 400 and some odd weeks. I can't remember right now. You caught me off guard. But it used to be a certain number of weeks.
Right.
And now it gives you, it's 1.5, but then they increased the weeks. It used to be 400, and maybe it's 420 or 450. I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Right.
But then there's some multipliers and enhancers, like, if you can't go back to your job, you get an enhancer. If you're above the age of 40, you can get an enhancer.
Okay.
If you lack education, you can get an enhancer. So they have a lot of enhancers that
I
you
got
can
you.
go to enhance.
that was supposed to replace the fact that we could get the time.
the times, yeah.
All right.
So that all changed. So now this one, I almost answered this question already.
Okay.
In a second. So let me see if I get this right. Hold on a second, I can't get it right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this one says, my spouse cut his hand at work. It was very minor. The employer thought it would be a good idea to go to the doctor and file a claim for workers' comp. That's something you should do.
For sure.
Because you never know it could get infected or
That's
have
right.
other stuff.
That's right.
My spouse told his employer he smoked marijuana.
Oh my God.
And he had had a prescription. They said it was fine, so against his better judgment and at the request of his employer, he went through workers' comp. He failed the drug test, right, for his prescription marijuana. Now workers' comp wants him to do a 6-month random drug test. He will fail as he has a medical marijuana prescription. His company loves him and wants to keep him, so they said he can become a contractor instead of an employee. He would like to stay an employee for the benefits. Is there anything he can do? No. I mean, and here's the reason. Here's where you are. People kind of get lost and stuck on this prescription marijuana. Prescription marijuana is not a pass.
And it's still illegal.
It's still illegal in
on
the
the
federal
federal
government.
level.
It's still on the federal level. There's no such thing as prescription marijuana.
Right.
It's considered illegal.
Right.
And actually they have rules that allow employers to opt out of it. So
Is that right?
Oh, absolutely, man. There's employers that if you smoke weed, man, and prescription or not.
No. I mean, wait a minute there. How can it be legal in the state
It's not. Okay.
and then it be used against you too in the very same state?
It's not used against you. I'm an employer.
Right.
I have a right to have whatever type of employee I want on my job. Okay.
Okay.
So if I don't want employees that smoke marijuana, because when you have workers' comp, right, you have an insurance program. So all companies, you know, and depending on what state you're in, every company, in order to have workers' comp insurance, you got to have a certain number of employees.
Right.
But this insurance company will not cover you or cover your employees if you, because
allow them to
a lot
smoke,
smoke marijuana.
smoke weed.
Because what ends up happening is there's an argument, even if you're on prescription drugs, there's an argument that you may be impaired.
Right.
I mean,
you're right. But if you're working around high velocity equipment, or you're driving or something, but if I'm just sitting at a desk,
man, come on, Jerome.
It makes
man,
a difference
look,
there, because that's what they tell you. Remember, because there's a warning on your prescription.
how I hurt my finger? A paper cut?
But listen to the for a
I
minute.
mean,
Just
how I hurt my
listen for a
finger?
minute. Just for a minute. It warns you on your prescription bottle that do not take this medication if you are operating equipment.
Okay.
But if I'm just maybe a desk worker or something like that,
Then my finger ain't gonna get hurt.
well, it could be. It could.
How?
Well, you could be cutting. You could be doing, like the cutting board.
Okay, that's why I don't want you.
It's an accident.
Okay, that's why I don't want you impaired.
I know you don't want to be impaired. I agree with that.
Because I mean, even if you have an accident, right?
Right.
The argument that I'm gonna make, if you're not impaired,
Then you wouldn't
have. You've been paying attention. If you've been drinking, and alcohol is legal, Jerome. Alcohol is legal. In
I
every
understand.
state in the United States,
I understand.
alcohol is legal.
Right.
If you have had a drink of liquor, right, and you
blow and you blow.
no. You have a drink of liquor.
Right.
You get injured at work.
Right.
They do a alcohol test. You test positive. You will not qualify for benefits.
Wait a minute, Daryl. If I just test, I mean,
The statute says
it
it.
has to be a certain amount.
It don't have to be nothing.
If
It
they just
says,
smell alcohol on your
man,
breath.
if you got it in your system, no, you can't have it.
I was out last night.
Man, then stay home.
I was drinking last night.
You stay home. Y'all, you can't, no. Stay home, man. I don't know why am I gonna drink all night long and come to work?
People do it all the time.
They stupid. I don't care what nobody's, that's stupid. I mean, if you
The Super Bowl, we just won the Super Bowl.
stay home, mark out sick. That's why you got sick leave. That's why you got vacation. Shoot, if you ain't got none, just say, look, man,
The whole city is celebrating
stay
the Tigers.
home.
The Tigers have won
Stay
the championship.
home, dog.
Okay.
I mean, man, see, and that's all, and look, and that's the entire problem.
Right.
No semblance of discipline.
Okay. I got you.
I mean, but anyway, I mean, and there's some law that, there's some different things out here. I mean, maybe I smell or I've had, but my test doesn't go impaired. I mean, I get you. I get you.
Because sometimes it takes a minute to clear,
Yeah,
even though
yeah,
it was some
yeah.
time ago when you first
Yeah.
used it. Yeah.
And there's a case, because what my time is?
One.
Hey, y'all, my time is up, according to Ms. Angel. Thank you for watching the show. I know we didn't really get deeper into what we were talking about. Hey, y'all, my time is up, according to Ms. Angel. Thank you for watching the show. I know we didn't really get deeper into what we were talking about.
Well, we answered some questions.
But we answered
though.
some questions,
Yeah.
and we'll answer more questions, and we'll see you back next week.
That's right.
SVP